ITP, we have talked about Industry 4.0, how along with the Industrial Revolution, when I told you on the first day that Industrial Revolution took place, Industrial Revolution 1, 2, 3, and 4, how along with the Industrial Revolution, education also evolved. So this is what we are going to understand. Industry 4.0, we have already discussed. So little bit about education 4.0. Then what are the technologies of Industry 4.0 and integration of Industry 4.0 in the education 4.0. So these two we have already done. The first and last one we will try to discuss. So dear participants, I have taken this chart from the AICT dashboard. It shows us the intake for the various years as well as the placement data. So if you see from 2017, 18, 22, 23, if you see this latest data, this is from the AICTE website. We all are affiliated to AICTE. So from this data, if you see this yellow bar, big bar, this represents the number of students approved intake. This represents the improved intake. The second bar, if you see, this represents the total enrollment. So if there are 30 lakh 12,000 approved intake, out of this total enrollment is 21 lakh 16,000. And if you go to the third part, that is, these are the number of students who have passed. So if you see this gap, it is a big gap. And last one is the number of students placed. So if you compare the number of students placed and the approved intake, there is a big gap between these two. How we can cover this gap is by having better education system. See, the technical students, they will definitely go to the technical side. So one part is that we need to give them technical education, proper technical education, techniques, latest techniques. Second part is the way how we teach them, the pedagogy, the education system which we have. So the second important part is the entire education system of imparting, the system of imparting education to all of them. So education 4.0, a learning approach associated with the fourth industrial revolution, aims to transform education in the future through cutting edge technology and through automation. So education 4.0 is the current period in which higher education institutions apply new learning methods, innovative and management tools, and smart and sustainable infrastructure, mainly complemented by new and emerging ICTs to improve knowledge generation and information transfer processes. So combining these resources during teaching learning processes will support the training and development of desirable critical competencies in today's students. So if you see, we have already talked about Industry 4.0. When the industry was evolving from 1.0 to 4.0, parallelly, there was revolution occurring in the education sector. So let us see the transition of education 1.0 to education 4.0. As we were moving from industry 1.0, we were parallelly moving from education 1.0 to education 4.0. So if you see the first time period, that was in late 18th century, this is parallelly with the industry 4.0 education period. So in the philosophical part, the earlier education system was based upon essential, means it is compulsory, your behavior, and instructivism. Instructivism means here the guru, if you remember at that time, we had a guru shishya type of education was also prevalent. So whatever guru has said, the student has to obey. So, and plus the behavior of the guru was embedded by the shishya, which we called. Or if you remember, it was a sort of they used to go to that particular place. Sometimes if you have read the old literature, they used to send the students to the guru, sometimes in the forest, in the actual environment. So this was the prevalent education 1.0 system, and there we had the teacher was the sole person, sage. If we go before education 1.0, if you remember Dronacharya, all of you have seen Mahabharata and all. So he asked his disciple to student to give him his thumb only. So it was one sided. Whatever guru has said, you have to follow it. Then second type came during the early 20th century. The education 2.0 was andragogical and constructive, means you can think yourself also. Third part was heterogogical and connectivity, means now you are connecting to each other also, and you are also giving input to the teacher. It is not interactive, it is quite interactive. And today when we talk about education 4.0, it is not only interactive, it is pedagogical and cybergogical. What do we mean by pedagogical? Pedagogical here means peer to peer learning. Like participants, you are attending this session, you are sitting with your colleagues. So sometimes, or when you are sitting in a classroom, we learn from each other also. We see the behavior of others and we learn from each other. That is known as peer knowledge. We are getting peer knowledge. Cybergogical, you all know, initially there were no computers, only books were there, but now we learn a lot of things from the computer. Cyber here means from the internet, from the web also we learn a lot of things. So what is the educator role? Initially education 1.0 or before that, the teacher was the role person. Only the teacher, what teacher says you have to do. Even when we were kids, when we were studying in school, so whatever teacher is teaching us, we had to follow that. Second is education 2.0 came, guide information source. Now we started getting in second century, in the early 20th century, during education 2.0, we started getting some help, but it was only limited source. For example, we had libraries, we had dictionaries. If you want to take some help. Third part was orchestra, curator, and collaborator. Here, the teacher, in the second education, the teacher was your guide, and it used to give you information. They used to give us notes, they used to guide us. But when late 20th century, the guide also became your collaborator. The teacher also, educator actually here means the teacher. The teacher became a collaborator. He became curator, means you could share your problems. Orchestra means he used to guide all this. And today what we call education 4.0, now we are saying a teacher is also a mentor. If a student is facing some psychological or other problems, you have to act as a mentor. Many institutes must be having this mentor mentee relationship. So now the role, see, just in education 1.0, the role of educator or a teacher was as a guru. Sage means guru. But now he is not only a guru, the teacher has to act as a coach, the teacher has to be a mentor, the teacher has to work as a collaborator, he has to work as a reference also. So you give references also to your students when they want to go for higher education. So now the educator role has increased. If you see this fourth column, now educator, the teacher has so many roles to perform. So drastically the educator role started from guru, and now multiple uh, aspects, the let me do this, multiple aspects it is seen. Now what is the role of student? When there was education 1.0, it was largely passive. Passive means student goes to school, listens, take a knowledge and go back. He was not very giving its own knowledge. He was not coming out with much ideas. But with education 2.0, emerging active owning of the knowledge. Owning of the knowledge came. And in education 3.0, knowledge ownership, initial independence. When third education came, then there start ownership and a bit of independence, means the students also started giving lot and lot of input. And today the students, I think all the faculty sitting here will agree with me that now the students are very active, they are highly independent, and they are designers also. And now they do not initial days they were dependent on teachers. Teachers will give notes, or if there is some problem they will go to the library. But now there is no problem of knowledge. Already if you start a class, the student already have all the notes from the internet and everything. But now it is more crucial that this in education 4.0, the collaboration between the teacher and the student. Approach was teacher centric during education 1.0. Peer assessment was encouraged during education 2.0, and high teacher importance was there during 2.0. Later on, co-constructed Then third one was co-constructed first student centered, and in the present we have mostly student centered. Now whenever there is any talk or anything, so everybody say you have to be student centric. The course objectives which you make, the outcomes which you make, they say the outcomes should be based upon what the student is learning, what it will gain from the education system we are giving. So this is the drastic approach change from 1.0 to 4.0. Learning outcome, grades, graduation, degree. Learning outcomes was in education 1.0, and followed by this, okay, I have done BA, I have got one degree done. I have done graduation, BA, BSc, whatever graduation I have done, I have taken the grades. That was the outcome. One education has been received. Then came license to professional practicing. Then came prepared for practice and scenario analysis. Only do you do BA, that is not enough. You have to do some professional practices. Whatever program you are attending, you have to take some professional training in that. In education 3.0, prepare for practice. You have to practice also scenario. You have to see this outside scenario, like this FDP we are teaching you. Okay, now the industry is changing, so the student has to be prepared depending upon the outside scenario. Training of key competencies, both soft and hard. Initially what was there, you take a degree, you do BE and you go, you do BTech and you go. But now you have to learn various competencies, not only soft but hard. Hard here means the technical competencies, but you need to be good in soft skills also. That is why we talk about soft skills, we talk about personality development, we talk about the teamwork. All these competencies, when the people come for recruitment, they see these competencies also, whether a student is good in interpersonal skills, communication skills. So both type of skills are now important when we are seeing the learning outcome. Enablers, what were the techniques which we had during education 1.0? We had only mechanical printing, typewriters were there, pencil, ball pen was there, mechanical printing was there if you go back. Then during the second education 2.0, we are aware that computers came, electronic devices came, calculators came, computers, just first computers manufacturing started. In the third, we had wide use of computers, and a big thing was internet. So in education 3.0, computers as well as internet was introduced. This was followed by education 4.0, where ICT tools, platforms, and powered by IoT. Now, so much learning material is there. ICT tools are there, which we can use, like this online class we are having. So this is the technology only. Information source, this is very important. The source of information was very limited. If you are going for a, even I remember when we did our degree, only we had a textbooks or notes of the teachers, and they were very important. We used to request our teachers to give us notes which they had prepared from the books. So limited information was there, only books was there, text was there, or you can go to library or you to refer to some books, but other things were not there. Now it becomes difficult, it is very difficult for the students to just imagine that these books, at that time there were no such matter, but it is the fact, the standard text that were available, they were only the books and all. Now adopted text and open source, then open source material, some physical materials came, some journals came. When I was doing my PhD, I remember we used to have these journal papers, but they were mostly in print form. So we had to go to different IITs. I remember we went to IIT, I think Roorkee, Ropar was not there at that time. So we used to visit their library, request the librarian, okay, this, I want this journal paper. Even Punjab Engineering College was having good library. The journals were printed. The papers which you publish in papers, that those journals used to come in the printed form. So we used to request them to give us a copy. This is how we used to get information. So see the limited amount of information we had during 1 and 2 revolutions. Third revolution, when computers came, text came, case studies came, second-hand experience came, and now you all are aware, even you can do online sources are there, you can do MOOCs, you can pass exams online, even some blended form online courses are there, you can do online MBA. other things. So now this is lot and lot of information. You have chat gpt, you can get any information, you have google. So now the problem is not what with the information, but it is about learning the skills. So what are the changes we saw in industry 4.0 in the facilities? Initially, we had simple universities, classrooms. Then labs came, blended laboratories and classrooms came. Then blended and flexible physical shared spaces came. And now we have cyber and physical spaces both. Like we are doing this class through cyber mode. Even we have physical classes. So both modes are used. If somebody has watched that movie Oppenheimer, in which they in America they made that atomic bomb. In that movie, they have shown the researcher. He had to go to different countries to meet the researchers. But now it is so simple. Bohr and all they have shown. It is very simple. You just open the email and you just get in whatever information you want, whatever journal you want to refer. But in that time periods, it was very difficult. If you want to research, suppose someone has done some research in US, parallelly some research is going in Germany, it was very difficult to know what work is going on. Only when they used to publish a paper, so in some movies, science fi movies, they show this, okay, when they used to publish the paper, then only they used to come to know about it. So a lot of things about this have been shown in that movie, where they have shown how they made that atomic bomb in America. So industrial technologies, we have already done that. Mechanical systems are there in industry 1.0, steam powered, then mass production, industrialization, electricity came, internet came, and now we have virtualization, digitization, and connectivity. So dear participants, when we talk about industry 4.0, this is the transition of education 1.0 to education 4.0. And these are the things which we require. Very, very important slide for all us educators. The education 4.0, we have these competencies, learning methods, information and communication technologies, and infrastructure. So these are the four important modules of education 4.0. We need to give competencies. The student need to learn certain competencies. If you talk about education 4.0, these competencies are, like I told you, soft competencies and hard competencies. Soft means hard, we know, training, we are giving training, we are teaching them technical subjects, we are doing a lot of research, students are learning design, create, implement. If you know, those who have gone for NAC and BA, they know now the question paper which has to be set, whether they are able to implement the design it or create it, promote the use of emerging technologies and best practices to propose technology based solution. These are all hard or disciplinary competencies. The soft competencies are very important: critical thinking, cooperation, collaboration, communication, creativity, and innovation. Sometimes we say that a student was having very good technical knowledge, but he did not get selected for in the interviews. The reason for that is that he might be lagging in any of these: critical thinking, cooperation, or he is not able to work in a team. So these things also they note when these people come. So they also check these things. Learning methods, modalities and methods: face to face, active learning, online distance learning, then hybrid, with all these types we have. Then challenge based learning, problem based learning, learning by doing. This is a very important impact. We know, if a person is actually doing work by his own hand, by a student is doing work, then he learns more. Once practically you have solved some problem or done it, then you retain that thing for a long time. So different methods have to be used. Labs have to be used effectively. Practical work has to be done. So learning method have to be very good. This is what is required in education 4.0. Then we talk about information and communication technologies, ICT, which we call. So these are also of two types: technology based and tools which are used. Technologies we have already done. Tools platforms are web conference platforms, learning management system, collaborative virtual platforms which we call as MOOCs, remote and cyber physical labs, robot teaching assistants, hologram, Teachers, you have heard about hologram. Now the teachers, see, we were talking about a guru. Now the teachers, when you have a hologram of a teacher, a similar twin of a teacher, they will not require you. Here I am teaching you, my hologram is speaking, then who will require a teacher? These are different technologies. So at classroom level infrastructure, how the infrastructure has changed at institute, at classroom level, use of innovative furniture, tools, devices. This was architecture, color, connected rooms are there. And at institute level, virtual and digital university, sustainable universities, open innovation laboratories, and smart learning environments. So these are what are required. Now, how to integrate in the industry 4.0 technologies to education 4.0? We have learned about these technologies, but now here we will only talk about these technologies with respect to the education. So IoT is an open network of intelligent objects that are capable of self-organizing, providing real-time information, data, and resources, responding to environmental change and situations. This we have already done. So with the use of IoT, teachers could spend less time on organizational matters related to documentation. So if we have IoT, if we use IoT in our systems, that means if we have systems, like for example, let us take one example. We every year you have to make some timetable of the institute. But if you have that software, already that software is there, that you put that thing and it rearranges and make your own timetable, so much time which you are taking for documentation, that will be relieved. So more the data is online, more it is automation, more time you will get for other things. Other examples are that the institute door, if the doors have some sensors, they can monitor the attendance. Why we have to take attendance? I open a register and call the roll numbers and names if this person is present or not. What about if there is a door of the classroom and there is a sensor? A student who enters, that sensor notes down and just put attendance for that person. Like for example, here in this software, we this program we are attending, you are attending, I am not taking any of your attendance. The software will tell me at the end of the session, okay, this person, let us say Professor Suresh, P. Suresh, he attended this program, and it will give me the time period for which that person is connected. So I don't need to take manual attendance. So if there are of technologies there, then certain institutes, rather some schools, they have student lockers also. So which, if there is a sensor in the locker which can tell me the data, okay, yes, that my child, like my daughter is also going in the school, so she has a locker. Sometimes what she does, next day there is a test and she keeps that book in the locker. So what if a sensor is there and it can be connected to the parents or device or to the children? Automatically, when a student or is taking out book or keeping the book, then automatically we come to know, okay, that these many books are there in the locker. Like we have RFID system in your libraries. Similarly, we can have sensors in the students' chairs, so that if we want to adjust the height according to the height of the student. Then, if we have surveillance cameras located in corridors and in fields that have thermal sensors, there you can note down the like we had these sensors for noting down the temperature at airport. They used to check whether the for the COVID they used to check. So these types of sensors we can have in our institute also. Surveillance cameras and public address systems to monitor the premises, that already many institutes are using. There are cameras around to see how the security reasons also. So this is how this industry 4.0 technology can be used in your education. Then cameras, this we have already done. This cameras, surveillance cameras, speakers in the classrooms for conducting classes. Already many classes have these online systems. But suppose a student is absent, he has the ability to connect to the class from home also. That can also be done. Then we can have smart watches for the student's health. The smart watches will give information about the student psychologically, what is his heart rate, or when he's playing, blood pressure. So smart watches can be designed for the students, and smartphones can be designed to inform the students and their parents of the class schedule. Like we have this ERP system, so that can also be connected to the smartwatches. So this is how we can make use of the Internet of Things for education 4.0. Another technology we talked about in Industry 4.0 was cloud computing. So, cloud computing is a technology that allows access to system resources and data processing via the internet. The cloud computing enables educational data to be collected and analyzed through the cloud. So, we have lot of data collected. We can take the data. For example, I want to, I have a class of students. So you are maintaining a register. So if that, instead of manually, if we have a software where all the data of a student name, evaluation, survey data, everything is recorded there. So lot of work of the teacher can be reduced. So big data analytics, processing large and diverse data is there, but how to process it, it will improve institute's operation, optimize the educational process of each student, track the students' report throughout their education system from kindergarten to, so like we are talking about this credit system. So if we have a system that a student who has started going to school, whatever his marks are there, report card are there, so that data is there online, somewhere online with that student, and till the university or college everything is there in some in a system. So this is how we can do the big data. Already government has started this credit system, where once I do my btech, then I have gained these many credits, then moving forward I go to post graduation, I gain this much credit. So bank of credit will be there in my name. So this is what we are government is also doing in education, this NEP 2020 policy also. Create and modify the development path of each student, adopt the educational requirements to the student's ability, taking into account disability and other development disorders that can also be tracked. Optimize the institute running cost. What is, say, if you have analysis, you can check whether there is any, you can also check the infrastructure facilities, water consumption, electricity, optimization use of this. Then talking about augmented reality, how we can add augmented reality. We know this is a reality that has three features: real, virtual, and combined real-time interaction. So an institute augmented reality can be used to navigate in the building. That is there. So we can have a virtual environment, we can have an augmented reality that can also be used in our classes. You can use these goggles in the classroom and take them to other space and other things that we can, that components we can use. Autonomous process organization, that refers to autonomous production, organization of components of the educational process with minimal human participation. So whatever things we can make autonomous, that can be done. Creating a class schedule automatically through computer, so that every time we don't have to make that timetable. Computer applications can be used for substitution of teachers. So there is a software that if teacher is absent, then which teacher will come. So if it is all automated, then lot of time which teachers spend, that can be reduced. In the end of this after this session, I will ask your inputs also, participants, how using the new technologies, what are your views? Okay, using these new technologies we can reduce the work of the teachers. Advanced robots and co-robots, which we call as cobots. So we can have advanced robots also that cooperate and interact physically with people in the areas of the operation. Robots that clean the institute corridors. Robots designed to prepare teaching resources. So already some big institutes, they are using robots for cleaning purposes. So teaching resources. So we can have robots to distribute meals in canteen. So wherever else we are seeing the automation, we can install it in our institutes. Robots assisting students with special educational needs. Robots that control lighting, air temperature, water, electricity consumption on the institute premises. So this is how we can have robots and cobots, co-robots. Then what we talk about horizontal and vertical integration, a type of strategy based on the vertical and horizontal organization activities, use of digital media in the process of horizontal education involving the activities. Process of vertical education involves activity of student at each stage. Means vertically and horizontally we have aligned it. Vertically means starting from class to the higher level, each thing is vertically aligned. Thus in the vertical education process, it is intentional development of specific competencies, that is lifelong learning. So, dear participants, these are the characteristics of the education which we need to give in Education 4.0 according to NEP also. That is, start from anywhere. Problem based and collaborative learning. Problem based learning has to be there. Lifelong and student driven learning, global citizenship skills, innovative and creative skills have to be added, technology skills, interpersonal skills, personalized and self-paced learning, and accessible and inclusive learning. So all these skills have to be there in a student. Now we want to take your inputs. What do you think, how you can add that industry 4.0 techniques in education 4.0? One technique is that you will teach them technologies, but how it can make your work easier? How do you think you can make as a faculty person, how can you make your work easier? Any inputs? Then we will have a small discussion about IPRs because time is less. But yes, one or two, all of you are educators. Please give one or two inputs. Yes. Yes, ma'am. From you have raised
Ma'am,
your hand.
I'm from IGDTUW, Indira Gandhi
Yes.
Delhi Technical
Yes, Indira
University.
Gandhi. Yes.
Ma'am, I think we will have to understand two scopes, especially that way sustainability features. I found that very important. It's very relevant. So we will have to be able to smart enough to quantify what are the things that we should not unnecessarily try to change, and then also alongside use modern technologies. And there was another fellow, I think participant, he was from English background. So we have to understand we are not all engineers, no? So there'll be different kind of people. So in our own little ways, how can we incorporate technologies? And at the same time, let's say in our institution, what we have been doing since day one. Now, for example, we are taking printouts in such big numbers. So we make sure that the river side is also used. But I see a lot of people are not doing that. So somebody who is not an engineer, who will not be
Sustainable.
using so many technologies, we will have to look at sustainability in a very detailed way in our everyday life. And having
Yes.
said that, ma'am, technology, even if we don't voluntarily get into it, it will swallow. We cannot stay away from technology, but I think we have to look at the balance of what is sustainable.
Technology. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, how technologically savvy we should be. Because
Definitely.
at the end of the day, touch and feel is also very important. I was
Yes.
discussing with one of madam coordinator, madam here. Sometimes I have noticed students, they feel very happy looking at, let's say we have a 3D printer here. For them, it is a spectacle. But many a times when they write the answers, we notice that, the spectacle has taken away from the theoretical seriousness of it.
Yes.
Because,
Writing is
we are
also
not,
important.
yeah, we are not a job giving place actually. Knowledge is very important. So the translation has to be correct. That look, it's not all glitter and job at the end of the day. The bigger responsibility of industry 1.4, when industry 4.0, that has to be no compromises. Yeah. And it was a
Wonderful.
very, yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Wonderful input, ma'am. Wonderful input by ma'am.
Good afternoon, Niraj ma'am. How are
Good
you?
afternoon. Fine, ma'am. How are you, Divya, ma'am?
Fine, ma'am. Ma'am, actually, if we can work at a grassroots level for teaching, like Microsoft Excel, we all have, but we don't know the complex things, how to use it, how to use the macros in the Microsoft Excel. We only know how to sum up, how to just add it. So, in the teaching, many processes can be simplified if we know how to use the complex things in the very basic Microsoft Excel. Plus, all the teaching institutes, if they have some common pool where they can share their known technologies, it will be very helpful for all the teaching faculty. Thirdly, the students which are being admitted in the colleges or in the schools or institutes, they should have some common, we can say their background. Like in health institutions also, if one patient's data is filled and whole of its background come up on the internet. The same way, if the students' data is online, then every teacher will be. It will be helpful for every teacher to understand each and every student, because nowadays the students are coming from every background in every college. So it's a need of the hour that a teacher student relationship should be like mother and son daughter relationship.
Any timetable?
Wonderful inputs by Divya ma'am. So definitely, like ma'am has said, if we have the entire history of a student, like we have a medical history, other, I will agree with ma'am that sometimes we are talking about industry 4.0, so many technologies, but even we are not aware of small things like ma'am has given example of micro MS Excel. So we are also don't know how to use that simple table, how to make graphs. Only ma'am said only sums and all. So definitely the basics of all the things should be known first. Then only we can talk about. Even the teachers should be first of all educated in these small things. Only then they will be able to help their students. So wonderful inputs, ma'am, from your remote center. And definitely if we have the entire history of the students, then we will be able to guide them better.
Madam, my name is Gaurav Chaudhary. I am from SRM IST, Modinagar, Ghaziabad, NCR campus. So, madam, in this FDP, apart from the domains of artificial intelligence, cyber security, and big data analytics, I came to know about the other important topics of employability, namely your additive manufacturing, as well as horizontal integration strategy, as well as vertical integration strategy. So I will definitely look into these new employability domains which I came to know in this FDP, and try to incorporate these strategies in my workplace. And madam, thank you for this for giving me this opportunity for this wonderful FDP.
Okay, sir. I think now we will have some feedback, proper feedback at one. This is the first part of the PPT I have shared with you, Education 4.0, in line with Industry 4.0, which is the need of the hour. And now a little bit about, because my topic was related to IPR and patents. So let us just for 20-25 minutes, let us see a little bit of this IPR, because my major session for this was IPR and patenting, but I wanted to share about this Education 4.0 also. So a little bit about IPR and patenting for I 4.0. Intellectual property means, instead of physical property, if you have created something, if you have invented something, or something new, then you can protect it through intellectual property rights, which we call as IPRs. So these are the different types of intellectual properties. Patents are related to your inventions. I will discuss a little bit about patents, because these are important when you go for NAC or NIRF or for NBA rank accreditation. They ask you how many patents are there. Then copyrights, geographical indication, trademarks, industrial design, and plant breeder rights. So these are the different types of intellectual property we have. See a little bit about this. Patents, I will tell you in detail. Copyrights are basically when you when you have written some book, or when you have published a paper, so you get the copyright for that. Geographical indication is related to actually the geographical indications of our country, like for a particular origin, there is a certain thing which cannot be patented. For example, we have basmati rice grown in Punjab and Haryana, some parts of Haryana. So that is a geographical indication of our state or of our country. Trademarks, we all know that before, when we start a new product, then we have a symbol and we get it done by under the trademark. Industrial design means, instead of the pattern, instead of patent or invention, you have a new design, so you can go for industrial design. Then layout designs of integrated circuit, this is again another type of intellectual property. Here you can protect the designs of IC units, and all electronic people must be aware. So you can protect your new designs of integrated circuits. Plant breeder rights are, these are for the farmers. If they have a new breed of plant, they can also protect it through plant breeder rights. So there is a dedicated website. If you go to the website, there is a, let me show you the website now. All the knowledge you can get from the website. Patents website is there, official website of IPR. So you just go here all the details, history of Indian patent system, vision, mission, the fees, what are required for the patents, the publications, all these things are available here. Any knowledge you want to take from for this, what forms are available, all these are available here. So you can go to the website. I have given it in the history of the patent. Once I read it, so they have written how we started these patents along with WIPO. So all these things are given in this website. So many of you already must be having a patent in your name. So patent is an exclusive right granted by a state or an organization. Like in India, our country gives this right to an inventor or assignee for a limited period of time. It is for 20 years mostly, for the disclosure of an invention. So what is an invention? It is a solution to a specific technological problem, and it can be a product or a process. So it is granted for a time period of 20 years only. What are the things which you have to see if you want to file a patent? Novelty. It should be new. It should not be obvious. It should have some inventive step. And the most important is it should have some industrial application. If you say, I have made this drawing, beautiful drawing, it is created by me, you cannot go for a patent. For that, you will go to the copyright. I have composed this good music or some movie and all. For that also, there is not a patent because some industrial application is not there. You are not able to use it. So that will go into copyright. But if you make something new, only then. Non-obviousness here means it should not be obvious to a lay person. It should be something new. There are, if you see this report I have taken from this website, in India, there are certain things which you cannot go for patent. So before you file a patent, you should go through this list of things, and these are the things which you cannot patent. For example, certain things are that you say, okay, I am doing my research and I have done this new theorem, or I have created this new theory. That also is not allowed for patent. I have discovered some, let us say, some in computer engineers, they say, I have this software. You will go for copyright. You cannot patent a software, but using that software, if you are doing some application, you designed a new software and used it for some application, then it can be patented. Then anything which is obvious means, for example, I say that carpenter knows that this is a wooden chair and he adds wheel to it. So he say, now I have made a new chair, it is moving chair. That is very obvious. If you put chairs to that, if you put to that, then it is quite possible. So it should not be a mere discovery. A substance, by you mix two new substance and you say that it has the property of new properties after combining the two substance, that is also not that is also not allowed. Or you just change the functions of 2-3 things and you say, okay, I have made something new, that is not. So they all second thing is it should be new. So when you will go for a patent filing, they will first of all check all the history, whether that thing has already been patented or not. Inventions related to atomic energy are not allowed in our country, and anything which is harmful for us, that is also not allowed. And anything which is used for surgical, if you say new surgical treatment and all, that is also not. And some plants and animals cannot be done, however microorganisms can be done. Mathematical model or computer program, literally dramatic, musical or artistic works, all these go into the copyright but not in the patent. Presentation of information, now I am giving you this PPT and I say that, okay, I am presenting a presentation, I have to patent it, this is a new presentation I have made, that is also not allowed. And last is very important, traditional knowledge. For example, participants, you know, haldi, we know that haldi is known to us, it is a traditional knowledge to us, and it is covered under geographical indication that haldi has antibiotic and other qualities. So nobody can patent that particular haldi. You must have heard this popular case study of these basmati rice also, when one of the contenders from US, he had filed for patents for basmati. So then government intervened and they objected to this. So we said that basmati is a geographical indication. It is it is of our country. You cannot patent it. Just imagine if they had patented it, then what would we have done? Now I have heard latest things what people are doing in these advanced countries. They are actually looking into the new discoveries. For example, one of you have done some new discovery and you have made a new product. You have not protected it through patent, so you launch your product in the market and you start selling it. So what they are doing, they will see that product and make a similar product and make a file a patent in that name, and they will claim, okay, this is in my name, how you have manufactured this. So reverse engineering is happening in patents also. This much things are being done for patenting, so very advancement has been done. So I think time limit is less. Just I will show you briefly the patent filing process. These are the steps for patent filing. You check whether your invention is patentable. This I have shown you. Then you draft a patent application. Then you send it for publication. After you have filed it, it will be automatically published within 18 months. After publication, you will have to send a request form. Okay, now I want for grant. I want to have the patent being granted in my name. They will not start the work until you request them for a grant. So you have to give request for examination. Then the first examination road, FER, will come. Then you will see the examination response. It is a sort of attorney and a judge is sitting there. He will examine your entire report, okay, what you are claiming, what you are saying, and after that only you will be granted a patent. And every year you have to renew your patent by paying some fees. So the website I showed you, there all the fees are there. This I have given it in the bottom of this also. So all the fees, what is the filing fees? If you are filing alone, if you are filing with the institute, that are given to you. All the forms are also available. And now e-filing is also there. You can also file your patent through e-filing. Check if your invention is patentable. This is a tough thing. Mostly we hire attorney or some consultant to know whether my invention is patentable or not. Or for this you will have to check the same work whether that has been done by somebody else or not. When I was there is a website Google Patents. There also you can come to know Google Patents. You can come to know what are different patents. Then in-depth patentability search has to be done. This you can take the help of some external agency for doing this search. Draft the patent application. Indian applicant, we have to I think I have written it somewhere. These are the forms required. So we will just try to summarize this. These are the forms which are required: form number 1, form number 2, form number 5, 26 and 28. Form number 1 is the application. You will file an application. Okay, I want to file a patent. Like you give an application for any request. Then form number 2 is the main form, that is patent specification form, which can be provisional or complete. So here you will write down all the discoveries you have done, all the invention detail you have done in this form number 2. For this, you can go for two types of specifications: provisional or complete. Provisional here means, okay, I'm still doing some research. My research is not complete, but I know this. I will be able to complete it in few months. So, but I am afraid if I do not file it, somebody else might not file it. So there you can go for provisional filing of the patent, and you get some time limit for it. Then you can go for final filing. Then declaration of invention to be filled with complete application. Okay, you have to declare that this invention is done by me or your co-authors, whoever are the inventors, that you have to give. Now, like you have power of attorney when we are doing some registration of our property, you want to hire someone else. Here also, I don't have so much time that I can do the work myself. So what I can do is I can hire some attorneys. For that, we fill form number 6. They are your authorized attorneys, and you just fill this form number 26, and you can authorize the attorney to correspond with the patent office on your behalf. So this is form number 26. Then if it is a startup, then there is form number 28 also. So all these forms, if you see here, these are available on the website. Forms and fees, if you go here, all the fees, see, I told you these fees, application for grant, form number 1, 2, other forms are also there, form number 1, 2, you have to fill form number 5. So this is form number 1. So you can go through this in your free time. You can see the various forms which are there. So these are the documents which are required. A little bit about technology transfer. See, now patents, everybody is filing patent, but now government is saying that instead of only filing the patent in your name, we should go for the transfer of technology. Convert your patent to the product. Convert your patent to the product. This is what we understand by technology transfer. So if you see briefly here, I will not go in detail. This is the way how you can transfer the technology. How to transfer technology, transfer of technology, either through technology transfer offices, through science parks, incubators, academic spin-offs, patent license, royal agreement, or there are certain agents involved in technology commercialization. So this is the roadmap of transferring of technology. Now we as educators, we as teachers, we can get research grant from government, we can do research in our university or college, and we can also discover some new technology, and we can also go for patent. This part is easy. This part already many researchers, many faculties doing, and they are also making a small prototype or a model of that. Only but now the work in the academic institutes was finishing here only. But now government is saying, okay, instead of finishing it here, you go for converting your IPR or patent into an actual product and send it to the market. So how to do that? For that, you will have to collaborate with the industry. You have to find a collaborator in the industry. You manufacture your product, and then you go for the marketing of the product, and these industry will go for marketing, and whatever is the financial benefit, both you and the industry, they will benefit. For that, you can sign an MOU. Okay, 50% or 60% profit, whatever profit sharing is there you will get the financial benefit, and that part will also go to the university. Like somebody was asking in one of the sessions that whether we are allowed to do this startup. Yes, if you have a dedicated policy of your institute, like Manipal University, they were asking, if you have a dedicated policy from your institute and if you get permission, you can definitely have a company in your name. There is a university here, Manoj Kumar sir, Chitkara University. There I went to visit for some workshop. There they told us that the faculty, they had registered a company in their name. They were making some parts of the drones, Arduino and all. So the two faculty people, they had registered a company in their name. Though he said that we are not very profitable, but at least they were having a company. So their institute, they had informed the institute. But yes, you can definitely have any company registered in your name. That is allowed.
Right.
So this how you can go. See, patent you have done, IPR you have protected your technology, but how to go for technology transfer? There are different ways. The simplest is direct use of the owner. You make the technology and you sell it, but it is mostly not easy. So for us faculty people, if you have already done the work, you go for licensing or you go for partnership or assignment. These are the different tools through which you can pass on your technology, and you can collaborate with the industry, and you can bring your product into the market. So I've just reading this, I have made this small slide. Suppose you have taken IPR for this phone. Suppose you have made this smartphone. You have done the patent for this. You have you have designed this phone also. So you have a design patent also. You have also developed the software, so you have the copyright for this. You have packaged the box, everything you have done. Then you have done the trademark also. So many of IPs you have done. So why not make that product and sell to the market? It will be the most profitable method of bringing your product. So those students, those faculty which I met, they were making actually Arduino. These electronic people must be knowing these. They were making their own Arduinos for drone technology. They were making these slides and they were selling it through their website. So this is how you can do it. If you think you can make that particular product with the help of somebody, you just sell it through your own website. This will be the most profitable. Second thing is assignment. You don't want to go into all those formalities. I have made a product, I am a good researcher, and now I just want to be free. So you can give it as an assignment to somebody else. Their proper documentation is there. They will then take it from you and they will sell the product, and you can have an MOU. Okay, I want to have this much profit. Similarly, assignment is there, licensing is there. This is also same. You can sell your technology to different persons. You can give license to one or more persons. This is another method of licensing your technology. I will not go in detail. There are different types of licenses: exclusive, non-exclusive. In one of the type, you can keep the license with yourself also. If sometimes I want, I can make my own product and I give the license to others also. So partnership, you can go for a partnership at your institute level or at your own level, and you can make your product with a partnership of industry. Business partnership can be there, spin-off can be there, and joint venture. Spin-off is a small company which is taken from that major company. Sometimes big companies, they make small spin-offs. And if you are making from your university, you have done some research in your university, then you can have a spin-off in your university also. So partnership, with this we have done. Joint venture you can have with some other people. Trade secret is not that part of this, it is rather opposite. So in trade secret, they do not share the secret with anyone. So in the last participants, I will show you some case studies. Like I was telling you about technology transfer. So I happened to meet Dr. Naresh Rakha ma'am from IIT Ropar. So she told me that during COVID, they made this good technology of this similar to a microwave. This is an ultraviolet type of they made. The purpose of this was to disinfect the things. First, they made these trunks, small trunk. We know during COVID, the method to disinfect the COVID was that with the ultraviolet rays, the DNA of the COVID virus was broken. So here, what they did, she along with her father, she was from materials background, and father was this biological background. So they produced ultraviolet rays, and using these home trunks, they produced these ultraviolet rays, and they donated this to a number of police officers, the doctors who were working during COVID. The purpose was, okay, if you put your things inside, like revolver, belt, inside this tank, close this tank, the ultraviolet rays will disinfect the things which you keep. Then madam shared with me that later on they made this type of, they did not make. I wanted to tell you here how they transferred the technology. They actually, in paperwork, they designed this and they made a prototype of this. They called it as shield ultraviolet unit. This was a disinfectant unit similar to a microwave, but here inside this ultraviolet rays were generated. So whatever things which we were using and we want to disinfect, when we used to bring things from outside market, we used to disinfect them. So you just place the things inside this and close it, the things were disinfected. So here she told me, okay, we transferred this technology for social cause to various industrialists. But since it was a social cause, we did not ask them to give us profit or share the profit, but we made one thing compulsory, okay, you should not exceed the rate above this limit. So they had set a limit, these many thousands. Above this, they had calculated, okay, if they sell this product at this much, let us say, for example, I don't know the exact purpose, let us say 10,000. So they will be have to have some. So only clause they said when we transferred the technology to them, we had written this clause. So they had given license to a number of industries. They have prepared this technology and they have given. So if this was a social cause, they did not charge. But when they were licensing it to the industrialists, they had kept that clause, the price should be below that. But you can do on a similar thing. If you have designed any technology, some product, you can collaborate with the industries, but the industries will only come if it is having potential of selling. Second thing you have to do is you have to protect it first of all with the patent. Otherwise, if you will sell it to the industry, you will not be able to claim it. So first protect it with the help of IP rights, whatever IP rights are suitable for that, patent or anything, design patent. Then you sell it to, talk to the industries, write to them, they will be interested in your work. So again, they made this doping chamber also during COVID for the doctors. That when doctor comes inside the for disinfection. So I think this is all we have. These are the case studies. There are dedicated cells. IITs and all, they have their own dedicated cells